we come from a long life of negativity that certain are gonna catch up to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, just because you changed your life for the past 5 years doesn't mean you ain't spent 20 years doing dirt.
A memorial to 31-year-old father of 3 Lionel Pickens, known professionally as the rapper Chinx, gets bigger with every passing day. So do the questions about who shot and killed him in his Porsche early Sunday morning.
Quincy Homer was sentenced to 23 years in prison. Prosecutors say he shot and killed Chinx while he was sitting in his car.
Both men have been arrested and charged with second-degree murder and other felonies for the May 2015 killing of Chinx.
For years, the murder of rising rapper Chinx Drugz remained an unsolved mystery, one that left the hip-hop world shaken and his family searching for justice.
Chinx was married and the father of 3 children. His wife pushed for justice for her husband since he was murdered back in 2015.
A talented artist on the brink of mainstream success, Chinx was gunned down in cold blood, his life cut short in a brutal drive-by shooting.
Chinx's music career was on the rise when he was murdered. He was signed to French Montana's Coke Boy Records, had a hit song on Hot 97, and was doing shows. Though he traveled for work, he was a family man.
But after a decade of speculation, police finally caught the men responsible.
Prison is going to be this suspect's home for at least the next couple of decades. He is accused of killing a rapper from Queens who was on the rise.
What really happened that night? And why was Chinx targeted? This is the story of his rise, tragic end, and the long road to justice. Chinx Drugz, born Lionel Pickens on December 4th, 1983, grew up in the tough Far Rockaway neighborhood of Queens, New York. Raised in the Edgemere houses, now the Open Bay apartments, he witnessed firsthand the struggles of inner-city life. During his teenage years, his father was absent and later passed away, so Chinx's mother worked tirelessly to support the family. Without a strong father figure, he looked to the streets for guidance in a world where survival required resilience. Despite the challenges of his environment, Chinx found solace and comfort in music from an early age. He developed a passion for rap while attending schools like PS 42 and PS 215. High school lunchtime sessions turned into freestyle battles, and by 7th grade, he started taking it seriously, reinvesting money from hustling into studio time. After his mother remarried, they moved to Amityville, Long Island, but he remained connected to Queens.
Duke, I've been taking mug shots ever since picture day in elementary.
Originally known as Chinx Drugz, Lionel Pickens later shortened his name to simply Chinx for branding purposes. The nickname came from a girl in his neighborhood who often joked about him being outside her building. Tragically, she passed away, but the name stuck with him, carrying sentimental value throughout his career.
The name ain't Chinx Drugz no more. It's just Chinx, you know what I'm saying? And I got the name Chinx from a girl. She used to live in a building that I used to hustle in front of, you know what I'm saying?
Chinx is just an acronym for coward-hearted individuals never exist.
Chinx's early foray into hip-hop began with S5, a 5-member rap group modeled after the Wu-Tang Clan's strength in numbers approach. The group's gritty lyricism and street appeal caught the attention of DJ Clue, a prominent mixtape DJ and producer. Already working with Chinx's close friend Stack Bundles, DJ Clue saw potential in the young MCs and sought to guide them towards a record deal. Despite the growing recognition, financial success remained elusive. The underground rap scene was competitive, and making money solely from music was difficult. Chinx eventually transitioned into Riot Squad, a collective founded by Stack Bundles. This move significantly elevated his street presence as Riot Squad, gained traction in the mixtape circuit. Though he struggled to turn rap into a full-time career, his name began circulating in hip-hop circles, setting the stage for his eventual rise in the industry.
My homie, rest in peace, Stack Bundles. You know, we started that Riot Squad group together.
Far Rockaway also, correct?
Yeah, he's from Redfern Projects.
At just 15 years old, Chinx found himself on the wrong side of the law, sentenced to nearly 5 years in prison for attempted robbery. It was a defining moment that could have broken him, but instead, it fueled his growth.
I was gone from about 2005 to about 2009. You know what I'm saying? So And I had lost some time in between there, and you know, when you're dealing with the court.
Behind bars, Chinx refused to let his future slip away. He used his time wisely, earning his GED and focusing on self-improvement. More importantly, he strengthened his relationship with Janelle, the woman who stood by him through thick and thin. Their love endured, and she became the mother of 2 of his 3 children. But prison wasn't just about survival. It left scars, both seen and unseen. The emotional weight of being locked away was something he carried with him long after his release. He even inked the words, "Love don't live here no more," across his skin, a haunting reminder of the pain, isolation, and lessons learned in those years. When he finally walked free in 2008, Chinx had a new perspective. He wasn't just returning to the same streets, he was coming back with a vision, ready to take his music and life to the next level. In 2007, while Chinx was still in prison, he suffered a devastating loss. His close friend and mentor, Stack Bundles, was murdered in Far Rockaway, Queens. The news sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, especially among those who knew Stack's potential. Known for his sharp lyricism, distinctive voice, and affiliation with Jim Jones's Bird Gang, Stack Bundles was on the verge of stardom when his life was cut short. For Chinx, Stack wasn't just a friend, but a symbol of hope. Seeing Stack rise in the industry had proven that someone from their neighborhood could make it big, and his success had inspired Chinx to keep pushing forward. His murder, however, was a painful reminder of the dangers that came with fame and success in the streets. It was a devastating blow, both personally and professionally, as their collective dreams of making it in hip-hop took an unexpected and heartbreaking turn.
I actually heard through another inmate in the jail who spoke to his peoples, and they told him what happened.
Wow.
Over the phone.
When Chinx was released from prison in 2008, he carried Stack's memory. Instead of letting grief consume him, he channeled his pain into his music, using it as a tool to keep his late friend's name alive. The loss fueled a new level of determination in Chinx, motivating him to carve his own path in the industry while paying tribute to Stack through his work. Their brotherhood remained a driving force in Chinx's career, and even as he gained recognition, he never forgot the man who had inspired him to dream big.
But when I found out that my bro was like unjustly, you know what I'm saying, I couldn't let his legacy die, so I had to just keep doing what I've been doing and just keeping that name alive.
Though Stack Bundles never saw the heights Chinx would eventually reach, his influence remained strong. His tragic death not only shaped Chinx's journey, but also became a powerful reminder of the struggles many artists face on their way to success. After his release from prison, Chinx's career took a major turn when he crossed paths with French Montana and Max B, who was previously a part of the Bird Gang with Stack Bundles. They quickly formed a bond, united by their shared hustle and love for music. Together, they created the Coke Boys, a collective that would become a powerhouse in the hip-hop scene.
Stacks passed away during my incarceration, but when I came home, Max B was looking for me off the strength of Stacks, and then I met French at his house, and then Max got locked up, and me and French just kept recording music.
After Max B was incarcerated, French Montana and Chinx held the fort. French Montana, already a rising star, saw Chinx's potential and brought him into the fold. Chinx's gritty lyrics and authentic storytelling complemented French's charismatic style, making them a dynamic duo. This alliance proved to be career-defining. Chinx became a key member of the Coke Boys collective, contributing to the group's signature raw and melodic sound. The Coke Boys weren't just a group, they were a movement, representing the grind and ambition of artists from the streets.
I watched his whole career. I watched his falls, you know what I'm saying? I watched his wins. So I got the chance to sit back and watch, you know what I'm saying?
His mixtapes, Hurry Up and Die and From the Cage to the Stage, highlighted his sharp storytelling and street charisma, gaining him a loyal fan base. By 2014, Chinx made a major branding move. He dropped Drugz from his name. The decision wasn't just about optics. He wanted to elevate his career beyond street associations and appeal to a broader audience. His music reflected this evolution, blending gritty street tales with mainstream appeal. Chinx continued to push boundaries, releasing his final mixtape, K-Riot 5, on Christmas Day in 2014. Tracks like Feelings and I'm a Coke Boy became instant classics, solidifying his place in the industry. Chinx was proving he wasn't just a feature artist, he was a star in his own right. The Coke Boys collaboration wasn't just about music, it was about brotherhood. French often spoke highly of Chinx, praising his work ethic and dedication. Together, they pushed each other to new heights, creating a legacy that continues to inspire aspiring artists today. On May 16, 2015, Chinx was sitting in his luxury car at a red light in Queens when he was ambushed by a gunman who fired multiple shots into the vehicle.
Chinx was sitting in his luxury car, stopped at a red light when Homer fired multiple shots into his car back in 2015.
In the early hours of May 17th, around 4 a.m., Chinx and his friend, Yemen, drove through Queens in a white Porsche Cayenne. As they approached the intersection of Queens Boulevard and 84th Drive, their car was ambushed. A dark-colored vehicle pulled up beside them, and a gunman opened fire, unloading at least 12 shots into the car.
As you can see, it's just quiet. There's no red light cameras. There's nobody around. So this is the perfect place if you were to commit to do it. By the time he stopped,
Chinx was hit multiple times in the torso, while Yemen was wounded, but survived. Chinx fought to stay alive despite his injuries, urging his friend to get them to safety. Unfortunately, he succumbed to his wounds shortly after being rushed to the hospital. He was just 31 years old. When interviewed 6 months after the incident, Yemen came forward to share his account of the night Chinx was killed. Sitting in his family's Harlem deli, he spoke about the devastating loss and the lingering trauma of surviving the attack.
We drive in, we get to Queens Boulevard, we stop at a light. Yeah. Somebody jumped out and sprayed us. Got close and just went and just shot.
Yemen recalled how they were ambushed at a red light in Queens around 4 a.m. A gunman opened fire on their Porsche, hitting Chinx multiple times while he himself was wounded in the lung. According to Yemen, Chinx may have even shielded him from further gunfire. Despite initial cooperation with the police, Yemen expressed frustration with the investigation, stating he had given authorities all the information he had. However, rumors circulated that he had stopped cooperating, adding to the tension and speculation surrounding the case. His murder shocked the hip-hop community. Chinx was on the verge of mainstream success, and his untimely death cut short a promising career. The senseless killing left fans, friends, and family mourning a life taken far too soon. Let's rewind to what happened before the fatal moment. Chinx had just hosted a party at Club Red Wolf in Brooklyn. He also performed as part of his ongoing grind to solidify his place in the hip-hop world. The party was a success, and fans left buzzing with excitement. From there, he proceeded to another.
Shout out to Chinx, what up, baby? Right here. Real homies, since day one. You know what I'm saying?
Yemen mentioned that nobody wanted to go with Chinx to the club, so he went with him.
Club, nobody wanted to go to the club, you heard? He called me, he like, yo, bro, you not coming? I ain't got nobody to pull up with me, bro. Just me and my baby mom.
Afterward, he stopped by a hookah lounge in Queens, but it was closed. Surveillance footage shows his Porsche leaving the area before heading to Queens Boulevard, where he and Yemen, who was 27-year-old at that time, were ambushed. Police believe the shooter had a quick escape thanks to the nearby highways. Following the tragic shooting of rapper Chinx in May 2015, investigators faced immediate challenges. The crime occurred at a high-traffic location in Queens, yet there were no eyewitnesses and no clear surveillance footage capturing the actual shooting.
I do not have an eyeball witness right now to that scene, so we're trying to get the cars that were involved as we go forward. A lot of video download is going on right now out in that section of Queens on Main Street.
The killers managed to escape quickly due to nearby highways, making the investigation challenging. NYPD detectives worked on analyzing video from nearby businesses and gathering information from the hip-hop community and social media. 12 shell casings from the same gun were recovered at the scene, confirming a single shooter. Finally, in December 2017, a breakthrough. The investigation into the murder of rapper Chinx led to the arrest of 2 suspects, Quincy Homer and Jamar Hill. The 2 suspects had cell phone data placing them at the crime scene. Both men were charged with second-degree murder, attempted murder, assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. The case relied on key evidence, including surveillance footage, witness statements, and cell phone records that placed Homer at the scene of the crime. Authorities linked the motive to a dispute that started while Chinx and Homer were incarcerated at Rikers Island in 2009. The NYPD described the attack as a targeted killing, with the suspects hunting down Chinx while he was stopped at a red light. After years of legal proceedings, Quincy Homer pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter in July 2024 and was sentenced to 23 years in prison. On top of his sentence, Homer was already serving a previous sentence for armed robbery,
where he was sentenced for killing rapper Chinx, whose real name is Lionel Pickens Jr. Now, Homer, choosing to wear a face mask for his sentencing today, he had pled guilty to first-degree manslaughter.
During his sentencing, he expressed remorse, while the Queens District Attorney emphasized the tragedy of Chinx's death and hoped the sentencing would bring some closure to his family.
Family and anyone else who was affected with what happened here. I won't believe this word.
On the day of the sentencing, Chinx's family filled the courtroom, seeking closure after years of pain. During the investigation, Chinx's widow Janelle expressed her heartbreak and frustration over the music industry's lack of communication. She vowed to keep Chinx's memory alive for their children and his fans.
I was told I had 2 minutes to say goodbye. Holding his mother's hand, watching his lifeless body, praying and crying for him to wake up.
The tension between Chinx and Quincy Homer didn't happen overnight. It was rooted in a combination of personal grievances, street politics, and the high-stakes world of hip-hop. Chinx, a respected figure in the Queens rap scene, had built his reputation on authenticity and loyalty. He was known for staying true to his roots, even as his career soared. Quincy Homer, on the other hand, was an aspiring artist trying to make a name for himself. Their paths crossed in the music industry's competitive and often volatile environment, where egos and past conflicts often collide. One key moment that fueled the animosity was a backstage altercation at a show in Garden Hall in Philadelphia. During the event, Chinx publicly accused Homer of being a snitch, a label with heavy consequences in street culture. This accusation wasn't just a casual insult, but a direct attack on Homer's credibility and reputation. The exact reason for Chinx's accusation remains unclear, but it's likely tied to Homer's past actions or associations. In the streets, loyalty is everything, and any perceived betrayal can lead to lasting enmity. Homer, who was at the party to promote his music, found himself in a tense and humiliating situation. The confrontation escalated quickly, with both men exchanging heated words in front of a crowd. This public fallout may have deepened the rift between them. In the months that followed, tension simmered, and the incident became a talking point in their circles. Some speculate that Homer's arrest in connection with Chinx's murder was tied to this ongoing feud, though the exact motives remain part of the investigation. There is no publicly available information suggesting that Hill had a direct personal relationship with Chinx before the shooting. However, the attack appeared premeditated, indicating Hill may have been connected to individuals or groups with grievances against Chinx. In what would be one of his final interviews, Chinx opened up about his journey in hip-hop, the struggles he faced, and the dreams he was still chasing. His words, now haunting in retrospect, paint the picture of a man who had fought hard for his place in the rap game, only to have it cut short. Chinx was first introduced to hip-hop through NWA after discovering his uncle's cassette and playing it repeatedly. Their raw message left a lasting impact, exposing him to a style of music unlike anything he had heard before. This early influence led him to Nas, whose storytelling and lyricism inspired him to take rap seriously.
NWA was definitely my first main introduction into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I remember listening to the cassette and that my uncle left over the house.
In the months before his death, Chinx released Cocaine Riot 5, a project that reflected his evolution as an artist. While he deeply appreciated all his work, this installment showcased a sharper focus and maturity. With his sights set on new creative directions, he felt it was time to close the Riot chapter and explore something fresh.
Riot 5. That was a good project for me. You know, you can see the growth in all them projects, you know what I'm saying, when I drop them.
French Montana, Chinx's close friend and collaborator, was devastated. In an emotional tribute, French described Chinx as a brother and a fighter who had overcome so much to achieve his dreams. French Montana, reflecting on Chinx's death, said he tried to help Chinx get out of the hood. He gave him money, hoping he'd move far away from the dangers of his past. But Chinx didn't go far enough. He bought a house just a few blocks from where he grew up.
He thought he was getting out the hood. He bought a crib 3 blocks down. He went and bought a crib like 5 blocks down from the hood.
It might have seemed like a step forward to outsiders, but it was a fatal mistake.
And it's like, just because you changed your life for the past 5 years doesn't mean you ain't spent 20 years doing dirt.
French Montana believes that this moment is almost inevitable in hip-hop. It's the turning point. An artist either makes it out alive or becomes another name in a tragic cycle.
At the end of the day, what I realize is all artists gotta go through this one hurdle that is either gonna keep you alive or you're gonna die. Me, when I got shot.
And the most chilling part? Chinx's killer wasn't a stranger lurking in the shadows. He was so close that he even showed up at the funeral. The same faces who celebrate your success can also plot against you. French Montana compared the dangers of being a rapper to being in a war zone, where the threats come from people you least expect. Meek Mill also paid tribute, calling Chinx's murder senseless and highlighting the dangers that many rappers face while trying to escape the streets. He emphasized how Chinx was focused on bettering his life and career before his untimely passing. Rappers like Pusha T, Nas, and Fabulous expressed their condolences, recognizing Chinx's talent and potential. Pusha T called his death a huge loss for hip-hop, while Nas acknowledged how the industry lost another promising voice too soon. Artists and fans mourned the loss of Chinx, not just as a rapper, but as a person who inspired those around him. His influence continues to live on through his music and the memories he left behind. Chinx and Janelle Pickens shared a deep, enduring relationship built on love, loyalty, and resilience. As childhood sweethearts, their bond grew stronger over the years, surviving the hardships of Chinx's time in prison and the challenges that came with his rising career in the rap industry. Janelle stood by his side through it all, providing unwavering support as he pursued his dreams in music. Despite the demands of his career, Chinx remained a devoted partner and father to their children. Their relationship was a testament to commitment, as Janelle held down their home while he worked to secure a better future for their family. She was not only his biggest supporter, but also his anchor, helping him navigate the pressures of fame and street life. Tragically, their love story was cut short when Chinx was murdered in 2015. Janelle was left to grieve not just the loss of her partner, but also the dreams they had built together. In the years since, she has honored his memory by keeping his legacy alive, ensuring that his music and impact are never forgotten. Their love symbolizes strength, sacrifice, and their unbreakable bond.
We was really just putting this music out we was making, and then the Coke Boys just popped out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying?
Though his life was tragically cut short, Chinx's influence in hip-hop remains undeniable. His debut album, Welcome to JFK, posthumously debuted at number 21 on the Billboard 200, cementing his place in rap history. To this day, Chinx's story is both an inspiration and a cautionary tale, one of talent, struggle, and the harsh realities often accompanying fame. His music continues to resonate, reminding fans of his passion, dedication, and the legacy he left behind.